again. Anyway, F250, 2002 Ford. Changed out the other side on the hub. Never changed one out before. Actually, it went pretty smooth, but getting the lock spring back in there, and I'll show you what the lock spring is here in a second. That was a little harder than expected, mainly because of the O-ring that keeps the water out of everything. Had a little pressure on there, but I figured out a trick, so I can show y'all the trick now. First off, your lock spring is on the inside right here. I've seen one of the ears. There they are. Pair of pliers. I used my welding pliers a minute ago. I guess I'll use them again because they spread out a little better. Okay, take that. And you pull it out. And that's your lock spring. And that is a little turd to get back in there. Or was for me anyway. Now, this, I ain't never messed with these things, but normally they just slide out just like that. This one was working, but since I bought two brand new ones, I'm gonna go ahead and replace both sides. That way I got new ones on each side. Alright, I'm gonna set y'all down. Right there, maybe everything looks like you're looking in the right spot. Anyway, alright, brand new in the box. Order these online. These are a Tracy part, a track part, tracky part, A-T-R-A-C-Y part. Anyway, looks like that. Brand new in a box. They got a 1-8, and they tell you if you have any problems, just give them a call. I'll give you a little card. So, it comes looking like this. Got a little bit of grease on the inside. I'm going to put a little more, just because. That's your spring that I had so much problem with. I went ahead and put my older spring on because it was actually rounded. You see that one's kind of oval. That was a little harder to get on. So I went with a round one. Grease. Get your grease gun. Actually, before we do all that, getting ahead of myself. Make sure everything's kind of cleaned out on the inside. The other one, this one's got a little bit of rust build up. I'm gonna smooth all that out. Little wire brush, picked it up at Harbor Freight. I don't know what it costs, but I'm sure if you got like $2 in your pocket, you can get one. Harbor Freight don't have the best tools, but if you're just going to be using something for 2 or 3 or 4 times, I'll go spend $500 on a $3 tool. We use some safety glasses. Dirt is not your friend, especially when you're working around gears. Looks pretty clean. Now, we can go back with a little bit of grease. I'm going around this lip right here. It helps that O-ring seat. It also helps that little spring, keeper spring. There's a name for it. I don't know what the name is. I'm just a shade tree mechanic under my own shade tree. The reason I'm putting grease in there in case it does get water or whatever, the grease kind of helps dissipate that. Because this is my marine grease for my boat trailer and my boat and everything, so I don't plan on doing four-wheeling in this thing, but every now and then it happens. And most of the time it happens because it wasn't planned. Alright. Rub a little bit of that in here. And on the outside of your O-ring, right here you got an O-ring right there. And trust me, put a little bit of grease on there, that'll be your friend here in a minute. It helps that kind of slide into place without getting off track. Okay. Now. Okay. This in here, I have it in. That's locked. That's auto. So that means it'll rotate. The inside of that will turn. Okay, so put that on there. You want to turn it first because you're getting them outside splines in place. Now they're in place. Now I'm going to lock it. And then when I locked it, it helps them other ones stay put so it'll slide on in a little better. Once you get to slide in, unlock it, and push it in like that. Now, rubber mallet. This has the little impact mallet. Has a little bit of sand on the inside. You get this at Harbor Freight also, or just a regular rubber tip mallet. The reason you want rubber is this is plastic. You don't want to be beating on that with metal. You'll end up with a busted one. And that's not good either. So, you're tapping that like this. And since I jacked the truck up, I can rotate it. So now I can turn that around a little bit. And all this is doing right here is seating that little rubber O-ring that I showed you a minute ago. And that's all you're doing. You're just mashing that in there, seating it in place. Now since my old spring is still good, there's nothing wrong with it. Still got plenty of spring left in it. I'm going to use it, put it back in. I have a brand new one. I can put that one back in, but the old one is still good, so I'm going to use it. You can use a new one, but it's not round. That's why I'm using this one. So then, you mash it together with that. Use your finger, slide it into the bottom, release it real easy. Just slide on in there. Take your screwdriver, push it in place. See, it's not, it'll jump into the groove. And now, the trick I learned a minute ago, two of them, get your little pad for your knees. I'm a big old sissy. Alright, here we go. Put that in place where it starts up here where you mashed it together. Take this, don't hit the metal part on the anything else, you're just touching the ring. Little screwdriver. Bump it. Turn your tire. Go about another inch or so. Bump it. Bump it. When it jumps into place, you'll know it. There it goes. It jumped. It jumped into place, and you can see it in there. Then you take your screwdriver and just mash the rest of it up. And it's locked into place. Let's see what I'm talking about. See? You barely see the ring in there. It jumps into that groove. It's locked into place. This locks. That locks. Unlocks. And we're back in business. 2 brand new hubs. 2002 F250. Alright. Hope that helped everybody. It's not too hard.